What's up there, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to week 4 of the EPL, and we're going to be playing against no other than THATSAplusONE or Philip Winget. You can check his channel down in the description below. And we're going to be doing the same thing that we do each week. We're going to be playing a best of 3 VGC formatted games, and we have to pick from a list of Pokemon given to us that week. Only one Pokemon from that list, and you can see that list right here. I got it on my first try, right here. And I'm also going to put the matchups for this week as well. So everyone that's going to be playing each other, so you can check their channels out, check their versions of the battles out. And you can also go to THATSAplusONE or Philip Winget's channel to check his version of this battle out. Because I'm pretty sure he does live commentary for his battles too. Because there are some other competitors that also do like commentary, post-game commentary. I myself, I'm a fan of doing live commentary, so I'm going to be doing just that. So from that list of Pokemon that we had chosen from, I picked Blissey. Now, I am not well versed in Blissey. I've never really used Blissey before, so this is going to be a first for me. I didn't really do too much testing with this team whatsoever because I didn't have too much time this week, but as you see on the screen right here, we have a Fire Z Heatran, a Leftovers Cresselia, Choice Scarf Tapu Lele, a berry, it's like a Super Citrus Berry. I can't remember which ones that I put on each one of these Pokemon, but it's a Super Citrus Berry, Crobat Super Citrus Berry, Meowstic, and a Keyberry Blissey. Now, we're going to want to keep this Blissey on the field as long as we possibly can. I know we don't have, whatchamacallit, like Tapu Bulu for like residual healing, but that's perfectly fine. We do have the Tapu Lele, so we can switch up the terrains. So in case Philip does have, like, let's say for an example, a Tapu Fini, we could switch up their terrains because this team revolves around Blissey, and if I can't set up Blissey, it's going to be hard to beat them because I have a lot of like gimmicky Pokemon and set up Pokemon. I even have like a support Toxic Crobat. He does have Rain, which is perfect because one of the things that we do have on our Meowstic is Sunny Day for those Rain teams, and Seaking was one of the Pokemon that were on the list, and Seaking does get Swift Swim, so I wanted to make sure that I had a good check to the Rain teams. Now, he does get access to Fake Out on his Ludicolo. He can also just straight up lead his Rain. His team is, I don't necessarily want to say it's similar to mine because he does have a lot of offensively oriented Pokemon. That in the Mega Metagross, the Tapu Lele. I don't even have a Mega Pokemon on my team. This team was actually created by John Valentino. If you want to check his channel out, it's in the description below. Thank you, John, for this team. He is a great VGC battler, and he makes really, really silly teams, and he's known as the Blissey guy in our area. So he gave me this team. So what do I want to do right here? I think the Metagross is actually, I mean, not the Metagross, the Heatran is really, really good, especially for his Metagross. And I definitely need to bring Meowstic so I can set up the Sun. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. His team looks like it's going to let me set up my Blissey because nothing else can really hit the Blissey other than maybe that Metagross. So I'm going to lead the Blissey. Who do I bring in the back? Celesteela look pretty good right here. Actually, yeah, get a Leechy down and a Blissey. And then I'll bring the Heatran in the back because I'm going to be able to set up the Sun, hopefully, with my Meowstic. Now, if he leads his Ludicolo, he can very well go for, let's say for an example, a Fake Out and, you know, maybe like a move with his Pelipper, because he can also set up the Rain with his Pelipper. He can set up a Tailwind. He could switch the Pelipper out and bring it into the Metagross, because Metagross is essentially the only thing that could really hit my Blissey. So he's going to lead his Rain lead. Okay, cool. Let me turn this music up just a little bit so I can hear it. I like to get myself in the mood when I'm playing these games. All right, so Rain's going to go up right here. We have our Meowstic. Now, he might go for the double up into Blissey because he wants to get that off the field as soon as he can, but he led 2 special attackers, so they're not going to be doing too much to Blissey because we're going to be setting up a Sunny Day right here. And I can actually go for a Seismic Toss onto the Pelipper because if he switches anything on that slide, it's going to be taking at least 50 HP damage, and I could break the potential Focus Sash on the Pelipper. I don't really care if he sets up a Tailwind right here because I do have the... I'm going to do just that. Because the Ludicolo is going to be Okay, it goes for the Fake Out into the Meowstic. That's perfectly fine. Goes for a Hydro Pump. It's going to miss the Meowstic. Okay, so fearing the Meowstic because the Meowstic does get a lot of setup moves. The only thing here is that I'm not going to be able to set up my Keyberry because, again, he doesn't have any physical type attackers. One thing I was thinking about putting on my Meowstic that John didn't have on his team was Fake Out. So I can actually Fake Out my own Blissey, which kind of be counterintuitive because I can't attack that turn with the Blissey, but at least I proc my Keyberry. So I'm just going to straight up go for a Sunny Day right here because he might want to go for a Hydro Vortex with the Ludicolo. If he does do that, it's perfectly fine. It's not going to be doing too much to my Blissey. I'm going to go for a Toxic onto the Ludicolo. One good thing is that he doesn't have a Tapu Fini on his team, so I can freely Toxic the Pokemon that are affected by it. And I think the only one that's not affected by it is that of the Metagross. So he's going to go for a Scold right here. Doesn't get the burn. He's going to go for a Hydro Pump, likely going for the double up into the Meowstic. We're going to be able to take that fairly well. Now, whatchamacallit? The Ludicolo avoids. Now, the Pelipper is only going for Hydro Pumps, which leads me to believe that this is Scarf Pelipper because the Ludicolo does take advantage of the Swift Swim ability in the rain. We're going to be able to tell right on this turn. He might want to switch out the Pelipper also into maybe the Metagross. So I might want to set up a Reflect right here so that the Blissey is looking really, really healthy. And I could also go for a Flamethrower into the Ludicolo so we can preserve the Fake Out, get a lot of damage off into it because the Pelipper really isn't doing too much. And I have Stirring Grace, so I have the potential to get a burn on the Ludicolo as well. So he's going to switch out the Pelipper, preserve the rain, probably going to go into... Okay, he's going to go into the Blissey. We could have went for a Toxic onto that slot, but wasn't anticipating him to bring in the Blissey. I was anticipating him to bring in the Metagross. He's going to go for a Giga Drain. Okay, that's going to proc our Super Berry right here. Yep. And we're going to go for a Flamethrower into the Ludicolo. Let's see if we can get a burn right here. We're not really... he's continuously doing damage, which is something that we're not doing on our part right here. Let's see if we do get that burn. We do not get that burn. We need to set up a Toxic onto this Blissey right now. Gonna go for a Light Screen right here now. And then I'm gonna go for a Toxic onto the Blissey. I kind of need to start wiring down this Blissey as soon as possible. And I do have the Celesteal in the back, so he cannot poison the Celesteal, which is good, but I do have to take care. Actually, if he sets up the rain for my Celesteal, that's better because his Blissey likely has a Flamethrower as well. And Celesteal is looking pretty good against this Blissey, especially if I get a Toxic down on it. Thunder Blissey. Well then. And if this is Serene Grace, I think that has like a 60% chance to paralyze. Or is that a 20% chance, which would be 40% chance at that, and we don't get paralyzed, so we do get a Toxic down onto this Blissey, which is great. Our Light Screen is now up, so I don't even think this Pelipper will be able to take out our Meowstic. I don't even think I want to set up a I don't think I want to set up a Sunny Day. Let's see how many turns we have left for all this stuff right here. I kind of want to go for... I don't want to do that. Let's go for the Sunny Day. Safe Sunny Day right here. And then I kind of want to go for a Seismic Toss into the Pelipper because I want to make sure that I'm able to... Okay, so I'm going to switch out the Pelipper. Anticipating a Sunny Day, maybe? We're going to get some damage down onto the Metagross, which is always good. And then we can bring in our Heatran as well. It's another thing. He can't poison the Heatran, which is good. We're going to actually bring in the Heatran. If he doesn't go for a Toxic onto the Blissey right now, we can actually go into the Heatran on our Blissey slot. And he's going to go for an Ice Beam. So maybe it's an all-out attacking Blissey. He does have a chance to freeze. Or, I don't think you can freeze in the sun. Maybe you he's leftover Blissey. Maybe you can... we're definitely going to bring in our Heatran on a Blissey slot. So, I think Meowstic has pretty much done his job. I'm going to bring in the Celesteal on this slot. And then I'm going to... He could also bring in... I'm still going to bring the Heatran on the slot. He could also bring in the Pelipper. In which case I can kind of, I guess I can go for, none of the Pokemon in the field right now threaten my Heatran. Unless he maybe goes for like a Thunder and switches into his Pelipper. He's going to bring out his Blissey probably into, no, he's going to bring in a Ludicolo, so maybe he's going to switch out the Metagross into the Pelipper. These, and I do apologize in advance, these are probably going to be long drawn out games because I do have tanky Pokemon, and he's going to protect the Metagross, okay? We can go for the, let's see here. Go for the Leech Seed right here, and then I'm actually going to switch out my Heatran into the Meowstic because I want to get up Sun. This Pelipper is actually proving to be more of a nuisance than I anticipated it to be. When I get a Leech Seed down onto the Metagross, because I thought he was going to switch in and probably the Pelipper. Yeah, he's going to switch into the Pelipper. So next turn we can actually go for a Sunny Day. We're going to get some chip onto the Pelipper. We can even double up into it the following turn. Because I still don't think the, well, it's likely going to outspeed our Meowstic. He's probably going to go for a Fake Out into, okay. Could have very well knocked out that Pelipper. I don't know whether or not the Fire EMZ takes it out in the rain. I doubt it. Alright, the Reflect wears off, which is not that big of a deal against these two Pokemon. So I'm going to go for Leech Seed right here. And actually what I could do is I could bring in my Heatran right here and then set up a Sunny Day. Because then I can go for a Fire EMZ. If he keeps his Pelipper in right here, I can go for a Fire EMZ the next turn. Because I don't think Hydrant Pump in the Sun will be able to take out my Heatran, not even a double up. And then I can go for a Light Screen the next turn too, to kind of mitigate the damage that it'll be able to do with his Ludicolo and his Pelipper. Alright, great. Now we've gotten to a position where he's going to have to switch something in onto the Pelipper slot, or even a Ludicolo slot. Looks like the Ludicolo is going to be the Assault Vest variant because it hasn't really been going for a Waterium Z, which I'm curious as to see what Pokemon has that Z move on his team. I kind of have to make my move fairly quickly, so I'm actually going to go for a Fire EMZ into the Ludicolo because it can't protect, and then I'm going to go for my late screen. It's probably going to bring out the Pelipper, but I don't know if he wants to do that. Maybe into the Blissey? Yeah, he's going to go into the Blissey. That's fine. We're going to get a Fire EMZ off into the Ludicolo. He's not going to be able to take us out with a Scald, because I'm going to get up another Light Screen. And we're faster than the Ludicolo. Great! Don't think this will take out the Ludicolo if it's Assault Vest, but we are in the Sun, and I'm really going to have to pay attention to the year timer because it's really, really ticking down. We need to take some of these Pokemon out, or at least make our moves fairly quick. So what I want to do after this turn, if we take out the Ludicolo, he's probably going to bring in a Pelipper, so I could switch out my, I guess I could switch out my Heatran into, I guess the Blissey. So he brings in a Pelipper right here, right? Alright. Brings in a Pelipper, switches into a Blissey, and then I go for another Sunny Day. I don't know whether or not he wants to bring in the Metagross. Yeah, he brings in a Pelipper, okay. Alright. So, I am actually going to go for a Heat Wave Sunny Day right here, because, wonder if he anticipates me to switch out my Heatran, and then he switches out his Metagross into the Pelipper, anticipating me then to set up Sunny Day. We're going to have to start making some risky moves right here, because our year timer is really, really ticking down, and I don't want to lose this on year time, because that's just completely silly. So we're going to go for a Sunny Day right here. Let's see if he does go for the Hydro Pump into the Heatran slot. We're going to get a lot of damage off with this Sun Boosted Heat Wave if we do connect. Kind of want to connect with the Pelipper more than anything. Going to go for the Hydro Pump into the Heatran. Light Screen is up, and we're in the Sun, so it's going to mitigate the amount of damage that that's going to do. We're going to hit both of our Heat Waves right here. Does pretty good damage to the Pelipper. Likely going to go into the Meowstic. Yep. Okie-doke. Alright. So, what does he do now? I kind of want to protect Heatran right here, and then go for a Psychic into the Pelipper, because this will be able to finish off the Pelipper. Match is going to be forfeit, okay. I didn't necessarily see how much year time that Philip did have. I think if he had like a significant amount of your time, I don't necessarily agree with a forfeit right there because he can kind of stall out my your time for the win. But I didn't see the your time on his side. It could have very well been counting down on his side, so that's why he forfeit. But we're gonna win game 1. Heatran is definitely the call in that. What else did he have on his team? Even against the rain, the Heatran did well because I was able to set up Sun. Wonder if he's going to bring the Sun mode in game 2. Question is, what other Pokemon can he bring? I think the fact that his Blissey is more of an attacking variant. So it had Thunder, it had Ice Beam, it probably has like Flamethrower and another attacking move. I think the really, really tanky, bulky, support set Toxic Seismitoss Blissey is the best because you can kind of stall out your Pokemon. I think we lost communication with Philip. Yeah, so we'll just send him another battle. Alright, double battles right here. I forget, he had the Ludicolo, he had the Pelipper, he had the Metagross, the Lele, and he might have lost connection. The Lele, Metagross, Lele, Rain Mode, Blissey, and he had another Pokemon. I can't remember what that is. It's definitely not a Heatran. I would know it's a Heatran because the Heatran gives this problem, gives this team a huge, huge problem. So Philip says, "Okay, you win. I'm not in the mood to play at all. All right." So I guess he's gonna forfeit. So I guess we're gonna take the win. I'm gonna actually follow up with Philip later to see if he does want to finish this set. So I'm going to cut the video off right here. I do appreciate everyone that did watch this video. I hope you do enjoy the game that we did play. I don't necessarily think I'm going to be playing this game with this team on Road to Regionals. Usually what I want to do is I'll use the team that I use for the EPL week and use it on Road to Regionals. Maybe I will because I don't really have a lot of time to team build because I'm currently trying to team build for a team for Dallas. So maybe you'll see this. I still have to make some videos with the ice team that I did make. I do apologize. I really haven't had much time this week to make videos. We had a blizzard. There's a family emergency. I don't want to get into that into this video because that's a video for another time. But everyone, thank you for enjoying week 4 of EPL. Again, I'm going to follow up with Philip and Moxie Boosted later, see if we can finish this set. If you do, you're going to see it in a couple of seconds. And that's it. Everyone, take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.